So I'm going to talk about vices, not the fun kind. Um, so there's generally three main ways to go. Um, you go with basic suction cup uh, vice or similar from Harbor Freight. Um, that's the way what this was originally, um, like that. Um, this is not Harbor Freight, but I mean, this is a suction cup vice. Um, Harbor Freight stuff is cheap. It's not going to hold up to abuse, but for light duty work, it's perfectly serviceable. Um, so, like if you're just going to be using it for holding locks while you're picking it, perfectly fine. Um, Suction cup base is really nice because it holds things steady. Um, Not sure how well the suction is on Harbor Freight stuff, but um, it's generally going to be cheap enough that it, it you probably live with it. Uh, the next route is spending a bit more on something like a pan of ice. Um, I did with this one because I planned on using it for more than just picking. Um, I do things like challenge locks, custom picks, um, even just grubbing locks where, you know, oh, this is a grubbing jig for uh, Euro cylinders, and I use the vise to uh, push the rod in and pop the plugs out uh, so that I can then grub it. Um, I would probably be fine for this, um, but uh, for holding things while I use a hacksaw on them or files, I wanted something a little more reliable. Um, so I think Harbor Freight stuff is like pop metal and whatever and can crack. I'm not sure what this is, but I'm I'm assuming this is going to be at least a little bit sturdier. Um, and with the pan of ice, you have a few different choices, kind of like all what's on here. Um, Popular one is the 350. Um, and that has 376 for the head, um, the 300 for the base, and then the 312 for the base mount. Um, that works really well for a lot of people. Um, I didn't go that route because uh, I wanted something that was very stationary, and the suction cup worked really well for that. Um, Whereas the 312 base can slide around. You probably can rubberize the underside of it if it isn't already, um, and that would help reduce the slide. But when you're really going at it with a hacksaw, yeah, you want something really stable. Um, so I went this route. If I was going to start over, uh, what I would probably do is myself just get the 300 and the 376 and then do what I did here and bolt it down. The reason I say that is because the jaws on this, um, I'm not terribly happy with. Uh, on the 312, there's grooves cut into it. Um, so if you're like working on something like pins and you just want to, or small rod, even like picks or whatever. If I put something in and say I want to work on the tip of it, and it's not very long. Let's say it was only like that big, and I put put it in here like this. If I squeeze down enough, this will pop up and then just pop right out. Especially if you need to hold it like right on the edge like that, because it's sticking up past the metal. The nylon will push back, whereas where it's backed by the metal, it'll stay, but where it's not, it'll deform, and that means it creates an angle, and then I don't want to do it right now. Yeah, it'll pop up violently like that. So, yeah, not terribly happy with this. Whereas one with our grooves already cut into it, like the 312, I'm assuming would be, 376 would be able to grip a bit better without that type of issue. And then, while the suction cup did work really well, and if you're just going to be picking, I don't foresee having any issues. But because I do so much filing and cutting, and yeah, that's a bunch of stainless steel, brass, and sawdust all on there, and I had to just keep cleaning it over and over and over again, and that meant water got inside, and this is only a couple months old and it's rusting. So yeah, I wouldn't go this route again. So what I did is pulled 3 screws out, or bolts, and drilled 3 holes in my table, and then bolted up from the top. So this is up right on the table. It's not going anywhere. And yeah, I don't mind. I pretty much, this is my work table. So having it sitting right there, it's not like it's going to take up room I need for something else, because I got a whole other half of the bench to work with. And these two, I think the main difference is just the height of them, but they have ears coming out. So rather than having to put the bolts up through, you can put them through from the top, which may end up easier. Then there is the small rig. This is a really popular option. I think it's really good for locks. If you're just going to be picking, this is a really good route to go. I'd say even better than like the Harbor Freight route. This jaw opens up quite wide. Actually, I should have had it out already, but it will hold this Medico mortise, or rim Solarian. And Scandi Oval is only a couple millimeters bigger than this. So I'm pretty sure this will hold a Scandi Oval. And this is the smaller of the style jaw. You can get bigger if you really need it. But I think the small is going to be perfectly fine for most people, because I don't imagine you needing a much bigger diameter than this. I think the Scandi Oval is about as big as it gets, like at least as far as something you'd be picking in this manner. You can get different arms. I got another popular option is to get 2 small rigs and then an arm similar to this, uh, and then that's a really nice one if you're traveling. You can use one of the jaws to clamp to the end of your table, and then the other one for your locks. And you can pretty much use it all over the place. I mean, heck, you could even, probably bolt it to your chair arm. One thing I want to point out, there are a couple different versions. You want to get one that has these serrations on the ball, because some of the earlier models had trouble where it wouldn't grip very well and slip a lot, whereas the serrations in the ball, I don't want to force it too much, but because I don't want to pull this out. Um, but yeah, that I haven't had a problem with it slipping at all. Um, yeah, and so what I did is similar to this. Is I just drilled a hole through, and then I bolted this in because I wanted this hard mounted as well. Um, and the reason I have both is I found that while this worked well for locks, especially I created a universal lock holder, and it'll hold everything from something as small as a goal S all the way out to the Medico. And the problem is, since I've been doing so much metal work on this, I try to keep it clean, but there's filings all over the place, and they'll get down in here, and I kind of don't want my locks too near that stuff. I do try to keep it clean, but yeah, it's nice just having another vise to segregate the work areas just a little bit. Yeah, so let's just slip in like that. And I got two versions of this. There's ones with the rails kind of cut out. For these styles of vices with the grips, and then there's some that are just flat for if you have a vice that either doesn't have these or they're too wide for this version of it. But yeah, so I find that, that's pretty big and it still works, and there's still room to go. But it'll hold Euro cylinders, it'll hold the really funky mortise and rim cylinders, or whatever this is. But yeah, that'll hold it well too. And I also have a version that's a little bit deeper. Something else I was going to mention on the small rig, I thought. Yep, guess not. Yeah. Thanks for watching.